Hey guys! We are going to get started on the December weekly video number 2. This might be a halfway video. Actually, I don't know how this is going to shape up, but I had planned that the second December weekly would be about reviewing 2024 and looking ahead at 2025, but then I realized that I actually hadn't sat down to really think about things a bit, and I'm not sure how this is going to play out in one video, so I might have to, it might be still a still processing kind of video here, but we'll see how it goes. I have my notebook here just to kind of write down a few things, because I realized that as we're going through this year and looking ahead at next year, I think it's still, it takes a lot of processing, so I thought it would be good to have a notebook with me. So I'm gonna date it first. I have been loving this date stamp actually, and I will talk about it in a future kind of stationery favorites video, but today is December 10th. I do have my stack of 2024 journals next to me. I also have what I'm planning to use next year generally on my right hand side as well. So yeah, without further ado, I guess let's get started. So I was just watching kind of videos from earlier in the year. I did do a early video early in the year in January, and then I also did a mid-year Techo kaigi. Let me zoom this out a little bit. Okay, so you can see. Make sure okay. And so I think introduce some of these things already, and I did talk about what has been and what hasn't been working. So some of this may be repeated, so if you've seen that already and you are like, oh, I've seen this already, you can skip ahead, but this is a bit more than what I used in 2020. These are things that I have not really touched anymore. So in that list, this list is quite large, and these are just honorable mentions. These aren't things that I actually planned on using too much, but I did want to just touch base on things I even casually used for 1 to 2 weeks just to kind of try it and give it a go. This is the Traveler's Notebook Passport in Olive, and I did take this with me to Hawaii, and I do like taking these on small trips, and in it I have, let's see here, and some of these I haven't opened in a really long time, but I do have a notebook that I did make with Anna's papers that she sent me so kindly almost a year ago, and to be honest with you, I am just I feel very precious about using this, and so I know I have to get started with it soon, and I might use it to actually document my trip to Hawaii. I did press some of the lei flowers in here, so that's nice. So on that trip, what I really did bring with me is this, I think. So this I did end up bringing on short trips, and why I found that helpful was, it's a very small compact size, and I was able to, in a list format, document what we did from day to day. So for example, I actually haven't done my Hawaii travel journal yet. I can actually look at this and refer to this very easily. I think is this from 2024 actually? Let's see, Monday. Oh no, wow, this is from 2023. Okay, so, I think I did a very similar thing in 2023 where, again, this is a very compact way to remind myself what I did on a day-to-day basis, but, sorry, there is a very, very loud police car in the background. But overall, I actually didn't buy any passport calendars, weeklies this year, because I just simply don't use this format that way. So I am gonna just set this aside, not because I'm not gonna use it, but once in a while I will take it out, and there is actually a passport in my system right now, and I'll show that to you later. So I'm gonna set that aside. This one I will talk about in a second. And then just likewise, I think with the Travelers Company notebooks and calendar, these are all weekly. So this year I would say that, you know, I did a lot of experimentation with the vertical weekly format. In the beginning, I did a very sort of detailed daily log, which I honestly loved. It's a very cute way to look back at the day. But again, this took up way too much time. And I don't have a lot that I do in the middle of the day. There are times that I work outside of the bounds of 7 to 11, so that this really couldn't capture my day truly. So I did abandon it quite shortly and then turned it into some form of more of like a, you know, I don't even know what you call this, but just a more visual, aesthetic kind of journal. And I liked it, again, but it's not something I periodically return to, or, you know, just naturally return to all the time. So I don't know that this is a format that I will pick up again. I do have, I did buy the journal for 2025, but I actually might give it away, and so let's see, or sell it, but I think mostly just give it away. And then I tried to really keep it up. Wait, sorry, okay, yeah, so this is in July. This is Stationery Fest, but I know that after that I actually totally abandoned it. So this is the vertical weekly that I abandoned, and then I did also have the monthly anyways. And as you know, I think in early October, I totally switched over to a Traveler's notebook system, and in here I was using both a blank and empty notebook and this horizontal calendar layout. I do like the horizontal layout better to plan out things. I was tracking my steps, and then starting in October, I did sort of have a very detailed list. So as you see here, these tabs, this is to track my Nikki Kaigi kind of content planning, and I think it actually worked out pretty well. I am not totally abandoning this idea that I could use the horizontal format again, but right now I'm not using it, just because I kind of love keeping my Traveler's notebook quite thin and compact. So I will talk about that in a second. And so I'm gonna set these aside for now. This is sort of what hasn't, you know, quite worked out for me yet, but we can touch base on those things again at a later date. All right, so this is the Hobonichi weeks, and I'm sure you are all familiar with this. I think I did talk about this as well. On the monthly end, starting in January, I did try to do like a monthly recap of stickers. I like this. I am going to try to do this again, and you'll see me kind of talk about that in my, sorry, I'm gonna adjust the lighting here a bit. Hope that works. Maybe zoom in a little. Yeah, I hope, I really kind of want to do this again. I do still have a lot of stickers, and spoiler alert, the weeks is back in rotation next year. But again, I use this up until, I just love the feeling of it. I used it really up until maybe March-ish. Or April even, and I kind of abandoned it for no other reason other than I just felt like it was one of those things where I had my work life and personal life kind of separated a little too much, and it stressed me out, and that's really the only reason why that happened. I yeah, it was a good lesson learned, but I don't know if I am going to, yeah, so I'll talk about this later. This one in particular, I just stopped using. Again, I abandoned it, not because, you know, it totally didn't work out for me, but just because I stopped using it, and sometimes that happens. And at the end, I will kind of review, let's see, that's funny, I have a things I want to do this year. Get my driver's license, did not do that. Grow my Nikki Kaigi Instagram, I did do that. Rent out back house, did do that. Reset and strengthen my back, hard to do right now. Learn Japanese, I visited Missy in Austria, I visited Kylie in the UK. Yeah, I did maybe half of these. Actually, less than half maybe. But my words and themes of 2024 was independence and mastery. Things I want to, wow, this is really funny. And yeah, I the back of it I didn't really use too much. I was tracking books, but again, I do that online, so I don't know if I'm gonna necessarily do that this year. In any case, this is something, wow, it's very white here right now. No color. So this I will actually reintroduce, but in a different way for next year. I am afraid of the sands and paper though, because I have not heard good things. And then yeah, very quickly I did have a phase where I went with the Jibun Biz. And this phase was not very long. It lasted a whole of 2 weeks. Woohoo! And you know, I think just generally I do love the, was it a 20? No. Oh yeah, it is a 24-hour format, which I really appreciated, to be honest with you. But I thought it was kind of too small. What I really wanted was the Jibun Daily, but by the time that I was starting it, it was June, and you know, it was sold out everywhere, so I didn't get my hands on this. I also learned recently, while this paper is very smooth and soft, I didn't know that this was the premium Kikuyu paper that is only is sort of only for the Biz journal. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I didn't do too much with it at all. So again, I would say a little bit of a waste last year, but I am glad I tried it, because if I didn't try it, I feel like I would still be wondering whether or not this is something for me. And just generally, I think while the vertical format is really nice, it just wasn't something, there's just so much to track that it kind of stressed me out a bit. And I couldn't figure out whether or not I was tracking my plans or logging things. So I think there's a real difference between planning and logging. So again, this is not necessarily something that yeah, that I need next year. And then lastly, a special mention are these Hobonichi Techos. So I have been a Hobonichi sort of user for a very, very, very long time now. Not so much as some others, but I would say I'm pretty committed, or I was pretty committed to my Hobonichis. This A6 in particular was something that just throughout the year I was very sort of dedicated to doing. And as you can see, I even, you know, had it through the summer, and I brought it with me to St. Pete. So again, I think a very good good log of, I would say, 3/4 of my year. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, I was like, I'm gonna try the cousin. And this did happen starting in August. I remember around Stationery Fest, I did get my hands on an Avec so that I wouldn't have to waste too many pages here. And yeah, I kind of gave it a go. You know, I really liked the large layout of the calendar. So just did a bunch of testing here. The weekly I experimented with for a bit, but I think I ran into, like, again, a very similar problem to the Jibun Biz. but I do like the fact that this is a full 24-hour layout. So I did experiment with that, and then I had, you know, some fun with the daily pages as well. I did actually for a while get quite intimidated by how big these pages were. So after about 3 weeks, and I know it's funny because I know I talked about this in a video where I was like, yeah, this is the system for me. I did stop using it, and it became a little abandoned again in October. And yes, I would say the end of or the middle of the year, kind of around September, August, became quite an experimentation year for me, and that's okay. The Hobonichi is not something I am updating currently, but I do have parts of it that I will reintroduce into my 2025 lineup. So, okay, so those are the things that just generally, you know, I'm no longer currently using on a day-to-day basis. I did just want to talk about that really quickly. And over here in my little pouch, and this is something I now sort of carry around with me around the house. And it just helps sort through like everything that I use on a day-to-day basis. So I would say I'll bring these out right now. There's more than I thought, but that's okay. And I do have a pencil case that I carry around with me, and just so you know, special mention, I do also just carry around these sticker books, so I have them for easy access. And this currently is housing some specialty Christmas items. They're seasonal. I like to this is a cute little Muji tote. It's a tote for my tote. So that's something that I just have. This Superior Labor tote I got 2 months ago, and you know, I think my hard and fast rule is I want to be able to fit everything that I'm using in here, because if it expands beyond this, it'll get a bit too much. But let's see if this actually carries through next year. Let's see. Okay, so currently this is something I just started. I did this earlier in the year actually, but it's a really good way for me to kind of carry around. I have the M5 anyways and a ton of inserts, so this is a stack. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna maybe let's make it a little brighter. This is the stack, and this is the pencil case that I carry around with it. But so this is the M5 plotter, and for now what I'm doing is I'm just doing a food log. So as you see here, this is somewhere where, yeah, I just want to track every day how I feel, what I'm eating, and probably just, you know, kind of what exercise I did, only because I am, in case you didn't know, I am pregnant and I am entering my 3rd trimester. And what this means is I am, you know, sometimes feeling a little bit more indigestion, and feeling a little bit more just uncomfortable sometimes. I'm actually having, knock on wood, a pretty great pregnancy for now. Again, entering the 3rd trimester, so I don't want to speak too soon. But I do want to just kind of keep track of what I'm eating, what makes me feel good, what makes me feel bad. And I did this earlier in the year when I was having stomach problems, and that was actually super helpful. So I figure day to day, this is a great way to use up my inserts, and a very easy and lightweight way for me to log things. So again, I can then also transfer all of these records into archive somewhere else. So I really like using the system for that. I just started yesterday, so there's that. And then 5-year, and that's something I will, I think, keep for the rest of the pregnancy, but I'll actually switch into something else early next year once that journal starts, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then there's the 5-year, and the 5-year is something I started earlier this year. I definitely, it's something I catch up on and sometimes backlog, but I would say that I did okay. I didn't bring this with me in the summer, so there's a huge chunk of time that's lost in here, but I would say, you know, I'm generally able to keep up with it as much as I can. And this is definitely, you know, as there are big life changes that are coming up, I think this is something that I appreciate and will want to just keep doing on a day-to-day basis. I think one of the tricks that I need to kind of employ is just to have it next to my desk, my bedroom, and have just one pen next to it so I can just, you know, kind of go in and write a few words before I go to sleep as the easiest way to, yeah, keep up with this. And so, yeah, I just need to do that. So there's that. And then these are kind of 3 things that I carry around with me a lot. This is, let me just start with this. This is my work planner. And I know I talked about not having like a separate work and, or, you know, how that wasn't working for me, but this is somehow working for me for now at the very least, because it has the ability to, you know, I carry this with me to work. It's a Knox planner and it's slowly patinaing, and I have just kind of switched between this and my plotter narrow. They're both in the narrow size. Sometimes I just like something a little bit more sturdy, and that's where this comes in. And it just has bigger rings so I can fit more things into it. So yeah, I just have a kind of calendar up here that, again, is just one thing that I need to kind of stop doing in 2025 is having multiple like monthly view calendars, because I feel like I just keep repeating the same things over again. So part of the exercise is figuring out which monthly calendar I'm going to keep up with. I haven't really decided, so today I'm really going to only focus on 2024 review before I do my 2025 planning. So again, this might come in 2 videos. I am pretty confident because we're already at the 22-minute mark and I don't want to make hour-long videos anymore. In any case, this is my work diary or work planner, and it really works for me because let's see. Yeah, I mean, I typically, what I do is I have I'm going to try to find a day that maybe I can share. That is helpful. Let's see. This is the Knox calendar, actually. So, okay, so this might be like a good one. I don't have too much going on the left-hand side, and I actually switched up the way I did it this week. So this might be a good week to show. So I started dividing the week, you know, kind of into its disparate parts. I drew my own lines, and that has been really helpful. So what I'm gonna kind of start doing is all the meetings on the left here. It's so small anyways, you can't see. Meetings on the left here, and then to-dos and log items that I actually do on the right hand side of this, and then I log actually all my to-dos that I need to do here, and I sort of like move them over as I do them, which I think is going to be super helpful. I just had this as a running list last week and the weeks prior, so you know, that was something that was kind of not working out for me because it just became kind of too long and I didn't know which day I was doing what. Yeah, I tried many different formats of like how to categorize my to-dos, but I am going to report back to see how this is working. I really like it so far. I also kind of like to color code things sometimes, and so I think I talked about it in my last video. In any case, I like this because, you know, as my week progresses and I have like notes that I'm writing, what's really good about a ring planner is for notes that happen during the week, I basically just this is totally from another notebook, so I just hole punch them and put them in the middle of the week so that I know that these notes that I took from these meetings are associated with this week. And it's just become a really nice way to, you know, just keep relevant on like things that happened that week. because I have the ability to add in like these additional notes that I took during that week, and this becomes like a good archive. And after like even these like full-on memo pads, I'll just like hole punch and put them in here. So after a while, you know, week to week, you can like start archiving things, but it hasn't become so thick that I need to do that. And I still have a lot of extra note pages at the back. I really like that. And while we are here, actually, I'm gonna take this out. So this is a really great example of why I love this, because at work, for example, I'm having a little bit of a break. I don't have my other planners with me. I can still use these blank pages at the back to journal about other things or plan other things, and all I then need to do is take them out of the planner and move this over to a place that makes sense for me. And in this case, you know, over lunch yesterday, I was just thinking about the Techo kaigi of what I use, and so this is kind of a list that I wanted to talk about, and yeah, so, and then my also stationary favorites, which is coming up in a next video. So I'm just going to move it out of my work planner, and then eventually I will just move it into my sort of everything book here, which is my what do you call it? So it's the grid notebook from Baumkuchen, and it is just something I started and picked up in October. Is just using a book, a TN regular book for everything, and I kind of really like that. And it's both a journal, memory keeping kind of journal, and yeah, place where I stick things in, memorabilia, photos, and just a good way to remember the day. And then I will, you know, I think my next thing here is I'll just add it here, and then I'll you know, fill in any more details, and then it just becomes my own little reference. I just finished the full Yoseka insert that I kind of archived already. What I am noticing is I do love the paper of this grid notebook, but I feel like I'm not a grid person. I actually really love the blankness of a blank sheet of paper, and yeah, I'm finding myself not really drawn to this in the same way. I can't be as excuse me, flexible with my writing. I can't, you know, I feel like I have a weird thing that's stopping me from drawing too much, because it's grid and it feels like I should be writing in it and following the lines. So as much as possible, I'm trying to not follow the lines here, but sometimes that becomes a little impossible. So in any case, this is what I am gonna process later in my notebook here. And then one sort of left field thing that happened, there's a few left field things happening in 2025, is I'm using this traveler's notebook passport to house my nolty, and it's just really, it just fits here. It's not even stuck here in any sort of way other than just slipping in. But I have been just kind of really curious to explore this nolty system. It was not an expensive buy when I was in Japan, and you know, I am just kind of trying to figure out, you know, on a personal level, how do I want to manage like a mini agenda of sorts from week to week. And I am just enjoying this format. I haven't really quite decided what exactly this is for. So far all I have on here is just personal agenda, what I'm doing. I am managing, or I'm logging my steps here, just logging the weather. And how I do that is I am using this weather stamp. So today is a sunny day. It's also Shasha's birthday. I don't know, it's just a nice little kind of log of the week, and I do actually refer to this just to see what is coming up. I do know that I have yoga tomorrow. I have a Traveler's Notebook meetup on Friday night, as well as a family dinner. And yeah, I think just checklist wise, I have kind of a good, you know, system over here, although I need to figure out what stamp pad I can use so it doesn't bleed ghost to the back. And yeah, we'll see how that goes throughout the end of the year. I like the fact that I can just like bring this in and out. This is a very nice pocketable notebook that yeah, just felt a little bit more compact, even though it's thicker than the Traveler's Company one. I am still trying to figure out size wise if this is the right thing. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm trying to log here. You know, for this to become a useful notebook, I feel like I should add another insert in here so I can, you know, just carry this around to a coffee shop and, you know, use it as like again, an extension of this traveler's notebook regular journal of sorts. But I kind of really just like how it looks, and I'm happy with it, and it's been 2 weeks, and so this is something that I think I will just bring with me into 2025, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I do like the act of kind of opening it up every morning just to check my agenda, and yeah, this is my little bag of things that are working for me right now. Though, oh my god, oh, I hope this doesn't fall, but there are things that I'm exploring. And I think, ooh, let me kind of mess with the lighting here a little bit. Okay, so I think I will save this for another video because I haven't quite decided on these things yet, but yeah, I think I'm gonna come back with another video. Should I? Or should I just do it now and then break this video up? Techo kaigi, let's go. Okay, so maybe since I have all this set up already and I have everything here, maybe I will talk about it. But I will just talk about it. I think maybe setting this up could be another video, and yeah, I think that's how it's gonna work. So I have a few things here. I'm not gonna use everything. I just wanted to lay everything out so that you could see. So one of the first things that I impulsively decided, not impulsively, but I guess when I was doing my cousin experiment, I was like, I love the cousin. I'm gonna get the cousin for next year. It's gonna be my only notebook for 2025. And guess what? Joke's on me, because look at this. But I did buy the snake pawn. And again, I've been quite apprehensive just about the whole Hobonichi lineup because of the you know, the Sanzen paper and just a little bit of the drama all surrounding Hobonichi. But my whole thing is, yeah, I have the snake Han and the Han cover. So the reason I got the snake kind of pattern even in the first place is, as some of you know, I am, you know, I'm giving birth to a baby girl in March, hopefully. And what that means is she's going to be the year of the snake. I am the year of the snake as well. So I don't know, I just thought this was a very perfect book for that. And while I thought this was going to be my everything journal for next year, I also want to acknowledge that next year is going to be full of changes. I'm going to plan, but plans are probably going to change. So this is, at the very least, I think I'm going to use it as a, I don't know, I like the idea of being able to write letters and notes to my little girl. And so I think I'm just going to use this whenever I kind of feel like it. I don't want to use this as like a tracker for her health or, you know, kind of the things that I don't think matter as much over time, but more so how I'm processing her being here. And yeah, I'd like to leave her little notes and write her little notes, so maybe one day she can flip through this and kind of see what her first year was like in the world. And yeah, this is something that I'm hoping is like a little gift that I could give her, and a good way to use my Hobonichi Han. that I decided on impulse to buy earlier this year. Secondly, I have this PAM cover, and I realized that I cannot really use this PAM cover with my Han. They're both, covers, and I think this is meant to be used with a soft cover. So one thing that I have for next year have decided to do, and I don't know if I'm gonna start with this Stalogy, is I wanted an A5 notebook. It was going to be the Midori, but one of the things that I want to do is just use up what I have. So this is the Yoseka Stalogy that I bought and hadn't used, and again, why would I have something that I don't use? So one thing that has been missing this year is, while I love to journal in this, I think journaling is a catch-all word for just writing down thoughts. And because I share this on my social a lot, and I like to share it because I think it's really fun, and there's not too much in here that I don't want to share, what I end up doing is it becomes a little bit, I wouldn't say performative, but it becomes a little harder for me to write down what I, just brain dump in a way that is healthy for me. And I think next year is probably going to be lots of thoughts, lots of just life changes in a way that I just really need to process and write things down. So I'm going to do that here. I'm probably just going to use that here, and this is probably something that's just going to be for me that I don't show. And I really want to kind of make use of things that are nice that I don't really have to show on social or flip through. Like, I just want this to be something that is, just mine, and I still might make it look cute at times, but mostly I want this to be for me. And that's the rule, is I'm probably not gonna open this or show this too much because it's just gonna be feelings, and that's okay. So there's that. And then we have this. So this, what? I have a Jibun Techo. Why am I using Jibun Techo? So this is the days, and I'm just gonna quickly unbox this in front of y'all. This is the Log Your Life, and I don't know if this is gonna be right for me, but again, I was in Japan, it was available, and it's just something I've been curious about for a really long time. So let's zoom in a bit. So this is the daily, and what this means is it's a log of every day. Every day has a log, and it has a left side and a right side. And what I am planning this for is, it's just going to be something that sits on my desk or dining table here at home for next year, because I think there's going to be, a lot that I'm going to need to log, both pertaining to my own health and my child's health. So I'm gonna be the side on the left, and she's gonna be the side to the right. So I think, from what I've learned from my friends, it's a good way to track feeding times, as in, I need to track things like that, and I should also really track, how I'm doing personally. So early in the year, when it transitions into January, I'm basically gonna move away from, not move away, but I might, this is still a very compact way. Oh, where is it? This is still a very compact way to log what I eat, and just daily. So I might, just take this with me, log it, and then bring it back home. And what this is a really great 24-hour calendar, so I can actually very well track feeding times. And again, this then is very different from the intention that I have for the Han, which is more kind of memories. Here's my reflections for you, and these are letters to my baby, and I want to keep this. This I probably won't need to keep if I don't need to after the year. This is mostly just so that people around me, my husband, and this is just for a good tracker for, I think. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. I think this mid-year Techo kaigi is going to be very interesting in 2025. But yeah, it's thick, but I don't plan on it leaving the home unless maybe, you know, we have to bring it to a doctor's office or something. But yeah, I look forward to kind of figuring out what this looks like, and I am excited to show you guys how this all turns out. So, a very interesting experiment for next year. And then we have all of these, which I don't even know where to start. These two, weekly and vertical. I'm just taking them out because I don't even know if I'm gonna open them. So there is a chance I might do a giveaway and kind of just hand them off to someone else. One thing I did want to maybe explore, and I did get this at 25% off, is the monthly layout that I think could be a good like addition to my kind of journal here, because what I think this is kind of missing is sort of a calendar of sorts in here that is more playful. And you know, kind of I want to maybe do like illustrations in here. One of the other ideas is just like a grateful like journal. I feel like I don't need a lot of space to kind of write down in one sentence what I'm grateful for. And I think this format, and let me just unbox this because I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this. So I'm not. Oh my god, Esli always has this crazy way of adhering. Okay, so this is the monthly calendar for 2025 for Traveler's Notebook. And okay. All right, so yeah, it goes from December. Oh, I guess I could start now. To January of next year, and it's a very thin book, and so I don't feel like I'm adding too much bulk by adding it in. So we're gonna just add that in right now, actually. So a very, very welcome addition to my lineup. And yeah, so one thing I can't really figure out is, am I gonna do anything with these weeklies? So here is the weekly vertical, weekly, and memo, which is the horizontal. And then there's also the GU weekly from Baumkuchen, which I have been very interested to try out, but it's really open-ended, so I don't know. I just brought it out so I could talk about it. I don't think this is going to be something. There's already so much next year that I'm afraid to start anything. I just want to kind of bring that out as an option, but I think now that I'm looking at these three, I'm just gonna set them aside for now and perhaps do a little giveaway or something on my Instagram. So I'm gonna set that aside. The last thing I did want to talk about is this, which I never intended to get, which is the Hobonichi Weeks for 2025. And the reason I got it was just because I couldn't help it, but I mean, because look at this cover, how cute is it? It's very cute. This is, I mean, this wallpaper, it is just so nice. But in any case, I don't know. Oh, stop, Yumi Kiradishi. Okay, so this is, and this might be a little excessive, but I am just going, I'm thinking next year, if I want to take some of this content stuff seriously, that I really should plan this content or have somewhere where I'm planning content. And I think as I was using the, I think I talked about it earlier, but I think as I was using, let's hope things don't fall. Oh no, this might crash. As I was using this year, I realized I actually, kept quite good track of my Instagram posting and things that I wanted to do for both my Instagram, YouTube, and now it seems like Threads as well. And so I am going to kind of use this as a content planner because I don't think it is something that I can like fit into this little agenda. No way. I don't plan on using any of these vertical formats. And yeah, I think the one thing that, you know, I kind of want to make this sort of, I don't know if it's going to be just a all-in-one kind of stationery journal of sorts. So I might use the back to sort of log new stationery that I buy, and then, you know, it then gives me content ideas for, you know, planning. I kind of actually am tempted to do that sticker thing again that I told you, and that is related to using my stickers, which is again stationery related. I might also do an ink log here, so I think generally this could be my stationery Bible, if you will. And so yeah, I want to see how that plays out. I have it anyways. I do have an intention of using it. I don't want to give this away just because of how cute this is. And so yeah, I think let's see if I can gather all of the contenders for next year without hurting anyone. Let's see this. All right. Sorry if this. I mean, this pan cover is so darn cute. Okay, so we got this and this. I think this is the cover for the Han, so I'm not going to add that yet. But this is my. This is new in that, like, you know, I don't have a system like this yet, so I am excited to have like a nice journal to just unleash thoughts in. So we got the Pam, we have the Han, so these are completely new, and again, I think a lot of these are just going to stay at home, and I think that is that's okay, and that is why I have some, you know, some things that are a little bit more mobile, and that includes this and this work one, which again, I'm not going to use for the whole year because I'm going to go on mat leave starting in end of February. So that's why I chose something like this. So I don't have to like do the whole year throughout. I do have some plotter inserts for 2025. And then I have this and then my little agenda. So, oh geez, this stack is big, but I think it is well thought out, if I do say so myself. And I think I am open to, for now, I forgot my little plotter. I think I am also open to the idea that things will probably change for me, but I am open to that. I am just still exploring, and so yeah, I think the 2025 is going to be a very interesting planning, journaling year for me, and yeah, I hope you join for the ride because I think it's going to be an interesting one. So thank you. This video is, it's 48 minutes long. I hope you like that. It's at least not an hour long. So yeah, I am very curious to hear about your Techo kaigi and your reviews for 2024. What worked for you? Have you used any of these new journals that I'm talking about? Has anyone here been using the Jibun Techo Daily? Has anyone here been using the nolty? And the nolty is the 1111, so it's the smaller version of the 1211. And it's not the gold edition because I felt like I didn't need to invest so much money in a planner that I don't really know if I'm gonna use for a long time. But let's hope. Yeah, so I'm curious to hear from all of you what you think. Positive comments only, please. I know this is a lot of planners, but yeah, again, a new year, a very different year, and so yeah. I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye.